Welcome to today's webinar, a collaborative effort between Structural Design Institute, more commonly known as SDI, and our esteemed partners, Lotus Construction Management Consultants, more commonly known as LCMC. To those of you who are joining us for the first time, SDI is more than an educational institution. We specialize in engineering, covering areas such as design, construction, and software training. What sets us apart is our close affiliation with civil and structural engineering consultants, known as CSEC consultants, a name synonymous with excellence in the field, having worked on several iconic projects in Sri Lanka. At SDI, we are committed to the continuous professional development of engineers. We offer CPD courses for those pursuing chartership or looking to enhance their skills. You can see a few of our ongoing and upcoming courses here. We have many courses focused on structure analysis and design, architecture modeling, and even some courses focused on specialist topics. What sets us apart from other similar organizations is our exceptional faculty. Our educators are all practicing engineers with extensive real-world experience, some of whom are even renowned in academia. In addition to our courses, we also host various events throughout the year, fostering networking and social sharing amongst our community, such as this webinar series as well. We also offer a set of publications, including the Tall Building Guidelines for Sri Lanka and the construction specifications for tall buildings in Sri Lanka, as shown on the screen, with more to come. These books encapsulate our team's wealth of experience, diving deep into design and construction specifics. Today, we are conducting the 6th session of this free webinar series, extending our educational reach globally, and our mission is to empower and educate engineers and other professionals worldwide, transcending borders to create a platform for knowledge exchange. So today with us, we have engineer Atula Samarasinghe, who has accumulated an extensive professional experience, both locally in Sri Lanka and internationally. His notable contributions include serving as a consultant in countries such as Qatar, where he played a pivotal role in project planning and analysis. He also possesses experience in project management, focusing on high-rise building projects, having been involved with both local and international contractors. Noteworthy projects under his purview include Prime Grand Residencies, Avic Astoria, and Trizon. His oversight in project management at LCMC has been instrumental in ensuring the successful execution of various initiatives. We trust that you will find value in attending this webinar, and please do make sure to engage with our speaker. You may send your questions onto the live chat and they will be addressed at the end of the session. So please do feel free to do so and take full advantage of this opportunity. Also, I would like to point out that certificates will be provided for this course, and the form to receive a certificate is in the description of this video. However, please do note that the form is currently closed, so you will not be able to submit any responses right now. However, keep an eye on the chat. We will send a message on the live stream chat informing y'all that the form is now open and that y'all can fill it. It will be open for 20 minutes. So please do keep an eye on the chat so that y'all will get this message. And once again, please note the form is currently closed. So without taking any further time, Engineer Abdullah, you are welcome to now share your screen and to begin the session.
Okay, thank you, Aisa, for the kind introduction about me. Good afternoon to you all. I think you all audible me, right, Aisa? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Okay. Today I'm going to talk about something, a topic widely we are using in the construction industry. So that is facing by all the contract parties involving in all the levels. So everyone is affected with this topic. So it's better everyone having at least little knowledge on this extension of time, because at any time you are facing with this situation. So this is mainly useful for the submission of any extension of claims or for the contractor side, and useful for the people who are involving with the consultant side for the evaluation of the contract EOT claims. So I'll with this time I'll be briefly introduce this topic, because this is a vast area. So for the first day, I will go through for your understanding and to get some at least knowledge. Okay, this is the content of my topics today. So I'll go through this under these topics, under these subheadings. So what is EOT claims? General introduction on that, and the type of delays because EOT always happens because of having any delays of the construction. And the third item, it is the construction master program, which is the basis to evaluate or submit the EOT claims. And item number 4, that is EOT analysis. Actually, EOT analysis, that is different topic, but I will explain little about how we can analyze an EOT claim. And item number 5, I will go through with how we can produce an EOT claim, what are the things to be concerned. And item number 6, of course, though we are submitting any of the claims that will not accepted by the contract administrators, and where there can be refusal of the your submissions if that is not comes or entitled for an EOT claim. Actually, what is an EOT claim? EOT claim, that is an under the normal contract definitions, if I am going, the extension of time is a delay which could not be reasonably foreseen at the time of contract signing. At the signing of the contract, we are finalizing the contract scope and the time duration, budget, and whatever the relevant things we have finalized, and both the contractor and the client are agreeing and sign. So once it begins, only the things are happening, some kind of things that is unforeseen at the beginning. So the delay happening. So whoever bearing that delay or the cost involved in this to be evaluated and fairly judged. While knowing this EOT in any projects happening, so we are following the contract specification. Normally in Sri Lanka, we are using FIDIC or the SBD2. So there's a provision given under the contract allowing the construction period to be extended where there is a delay. That is not the contractor's fault. So if there's any fault within the contractor's management or activities, so that will of course not be an EOT, that will not come under the EOT. So next we will move on to the why this EOT claim is required. EOT, of course, you know, it is an extended time to the agreed initial contract period. Who is benefit with this EOT claims or EOT grant? Either by the contractor or the client. By just seeing, I think, of course, many of people thinking that is mostly benefited the contractor because he's sometimes get the compensation and over that some profits. Actually, when you are referring or when you are deeply referring this EOT claims, so that is not the case. That is benefited by the both the contractor and the client. That's why it has come to the contract specification. In all of the contract specification, there's a clause for this EOT submission and evaluation. So first we'll see benefit by the contractor side. That is, the contractor relieve the contract of liability of damages of delay. That is called liquidated damages. I think many of you know what is liquidated damages. That is the penalty enforced to the contractor if he is delaying the contract beyond the agreed end date. See, the other thing is the contractor benefit prevent the breach of contract. That means the contract at this signing stage, we are agreeing for end date. So if the contract is not completing the work and extending his work beyond that completion date, he's facing to the breach of contract. So the client can get any legal action against him. So having this EOT, the contractor is getting benefit prevent of this breach of contract. Let's say if there is no mechanism for this EOT claims, what will happen? The delay. So while the contract is happening, so there will be any delay. So that is not because of the contractor's fault. So there is no mechanism to evaluate the EOT, and the contractor will say, okay, this has happened because of not my fault. So he will say, I will complete this project within a reasonable time. So no one knows what is this reasonable. So he will say, so that is reasonable. So we are saying this is becoming at large. So once the contract end date finishes, no more contract is valid. Then what will happen? The client would lose the right to liquidated damages. So thereafter, contract will play its role. So having this EOT provision, so the client benefit losing his control over this liquidated damages. So once EOT is granted, we are now establishing a new contractual completion date, and thereafter we know this contract is extended, and people can coordinate and plan their works up to the extended period. Next, we'll move to the contractual procedure for the EOT claims. So once the contractor identified any delays happen, and if he's knowing this is under or beyond his control, he should notice to the other party this delay notices. So in many contract specification, they are given a notice period, and they should follow. So that is included in the contract document. On the other hand, if the contract administrator for the client side, if they also having some kind of events, that is they want to change their product or part of the product, or they want to delay that one part of the contract, and they are thinking to modify it. So that kind of situation also, from the client side, they should inform the contractor in advance so that we can minimize the delay events. So giving a notice is the first step of this contract claims. And once the contractor or the client giving these notices, so no contract specialist advice to wait and see method. So many people have we have observed they are waiting and see what's happening actually because of any delay events. So that will make unnecessary events. So there are many accepted delay methods. So we have to evaluate the so we have to respond to the delay events. And the contract administrator accept any delay events happen if it is entitled for an EOT and the contract completion date will be adjusted. So this is the brief introduction about the EOT claims and its procedure. So I extracted few clauses from the SBD2, that is the major contract specification for the in Sri Lanka and the FIDIC internationally used. And these are the clauses we have, 8.4 in the SBD2, and the FIDIC we have the 8.5. So this has given a clear guidance how we can move forward with this extension of time. And that is also it is describing the contractor's claim clause 19.1. Referring these clauses, we can see contractor or the client, they should inform if there's any delay event observed, it should be immediately or as soon as possible, that should be informed to the other party. Okay, I think few points are repeating from the previous slide. This actually EOT claims mitigate the risk provided in a, so there's a structured approach. So the standard method is there. So everyone is know how this EOT should be produced and evaluated. So that should be properly documented, and it will be given beneficial to the either party when it's come to the legal procedures. So if any disputes or contract enforcement or the legal recourse, so any of the time having this EOT, that's beneficial by all. Now I will move on to this delay types of delays, because EOT always happening because of a delay. There are two types we are generally calling to identify the type of the delays. One is the culpable delays, other one is the non-culpable delays. Culpable delays, which is results from actions or inactions for which one of the party is responsible, either contractor or the client side. For example, these are design errors and changes. Those are the wrong actions of the designers or the client side. Material procurement issues. So that is from the contractor side, if they are not properly planning their works, so there will be delays. So that is come under the contractor's delay. And the late approvals, sometimes the normally these approvals, majority of the approvals has to be taken from the client side. So sometimes they are not aware. So that is the inactions, we can say. So these are the culpable means one party is responsible. So there are some other events, delay events happening. So none of the party, either contractor or the client, they are not responsible. That is happening because of the natural acts, like adverse weather condition, or act of God, like floods or tsunami, like that. And force major, the government actions, sometimes the governments come and they are changing their policies. So in that case, no party can responsible for any events. For the unforeseen site conditions. Unforeseen site conditions mean, so at the very beginning, while we are signing the contracts, we might be having data about the site, but while we are entering the construction, there will be events having, so those haven't been identified before, like underground services or some pits underground, so that is not observed in the borehole, so that kind of things. So those are we call non-culpable delays. So that those we are specifying in general terms. So when you are coming to the EOT evaluation, so there should be some. So EOT actually claim comes most from the contractor side. So if the things are beyond the contractor's control, so he has the excuse to claim for the extension of time. So those are like client variation, delay on the part of the nominated contractors selected by the client, and if they are not performing, sometimes the contractor has the right to ask for an extension of time. So, and the delay in possession of time, sometimes though we are signing the contract, sometimes the contractor cannot start his work. So these are few examples, but there are so many events comes on this excusable delays. So other thing is the non-excusable delays. Non-excusable delays mean delays within the control of the contractors. So that is we can say, negligence or failure of the contractor's work. So some examples I have mentioned here, actions of negligence, failure due to poor workmanship. Sometimes we have to redo some works because of the errors, and the poor financial management. The contractor is not managing the financial win, and some they are stuck with the works because of not having enough finance to control the site, and the maintain the lack of quality controlling procedures. Okay. These are the types of delay events. I will say delay events because we have to take one by one for any of the extension of time clause. We have to evaluate each and every thing separately. So these are the few examples of the delay events we can commonly observe. The variations instructed by the contract administrator on behalf of the client. So if there is any variation given by the client for this engineer, then contractor has the right to claim for an extension of time. Next one is the exceptionally adverse weather condition. If the weather condition is exceptional from the normal weather pattern of any particular period, of course, the contractor has the right to claim for an extension of time. And civil commotion or terrorism. So these, none of the parties responsible. So the work will held up. The contractor can ask for an EOT claim. The next one, we can see, we can observe the failure of the client or their consultant provide information. This is happening if there's any information required by the contractor and he's asking in advance to resolve that from the client or the consultant side. So if they are not giving the proper answer before the contractor plan his work, so he has the right to ask for an extension of time. So the delay of the part of the nominated subcontractor, I think before I talk about this, and the statutory undertakes works. So while we are carrying out the construction work, there are things we have to get from the government authority side, like water supply, electricity, or sewer connection, like that. So some of the works are done by these authority people. So if they are delaying, so the contractor, if it is affecting the contractor's work, he has the right to ask for an extension of time and the changes in statutory requirements. So the government authority, they are changing from the original method, or if the working method changes, if it is affecting to the site works, then contractor can ask for an extension of time. Possession of the site, I think I described before. Force majeure, we recently observed this corona matter, that kind of situations. So no one is responsible, but the work has to be carried out. There should be EOT. There can be claim for an extension of time. Next one is the loss from a specified area such as floods, tsunami, like that. And some of the materials supplied by the client. So if the client delay in the supply of these materials or goods, that contractor has the right to ask for an EOT claim. And the permissions or strikes, these are events the contractor has for an EOT claim. However, if these delay events are responsible by the contractor or the client, the contractor has the responsibility to take action in preventing or mitigate the delay resulting in loss to the project. So while evaluating this EOT claims, contractor has to provide his initiation or his mitigation actions to get an EOT. So he can't just sit, okay, that is the client responsible event. So we can wait and see. So that is not accepted by the contract while the contract evaluation. Now I'll move into little different area. I'll come back to the EOT while after describing this. Basically, a project has this concept. We have a scope. What is the final outcome should be given to the client. So scope is the detailed breakdown of the specific activities need to complete the project successfully. So this is a brief definition. So if you are going deep, so this has to be explained much. So scope, under the scope, we have a time period. To complete this scope, we have a time. And also we have a budget. And the required resources, it also to be informed while for the relevant parties. Next, the construction master program. Why I'm talking about this construction master program here? Because the construction master program is the key element described in the entire project activities. So whatever the delay is happening, that has to be related to the activities shown in this construction master program. This construction master program actually should not be a paper exercise to show just as a contractual requirement. So we have to utilize this construction master program effectively if we are much keen to go with this EOT claims, because we have the proof and we have a good basis to make our arguments with respect to the delay events. Once we start the construction works, the contractor is entitled or his responsibility comes to submit a construction master program. So once it's given to the contract administrator, he should evaluate and should give his comments or approve the construction master program. That we are keeping as a baseline program. We are calling this first approved document as the construction or the baseline program. And while the construction work is progressing, we need to update this construction master program. So normally we are taking this updated in each month. So that's a good time period and practicable for everyone to check and comment. So in the construction master program, it's showing the total scope, and it is being divided into manageable works. That's we call the work breakdown structure, and thereafter we are developing the detailed activity schedule. And there will be some contractual requirements to show the milestone WBS layout. The WBS is the visual, hierarchical, and deliverable-oriented deconstruction of project. That is, we are making our project into segments which can be manageable at a easy level. Once the WBS, I think if there are any planning engineers or the related people is there, they know. Once we have developed this WBS, we have to send to the consultant or the contract administrator, and need to get approval for need to get approval for this WBS. Thereafter, we can develop this detailed activity layout. So always at the baseline, the start and the finish level, finish date should be as with the contract dates. Okay, now I just brief you about the project and the construction program. So the construction program, we have a baseline schedule now, and when it's come to the EOT, so we have to check with the baseline program thereafter. The next topic I am going to talk about how to assess the EOT. Actually, just by seeing the EOT seems much easier, but it is not the case when it's come to the real scenarios, because each and every event, it is much complicated and controversial. There are two parties from the contractor and the client. So both parties has to be agreed while it is assessing this EOT. And there are actually EOT means it is referred with the delays. So multiple and the concurrent delays we can find. So in a project, it is not only one delay event is happening. There are several delay events is happening, and sometimes they are happening in different time periods. Some events are happening overlapping each other. So each and every case we have to analyze carefully. Some of the delay events are contractors' faults. Some of the delay events are not contractors' fault. So that is come from the client, or those are because of the natural disasters or natural events. So how we can produce an EOT? That's how easy it is. That's depend on how much we have been concerned about this EOT claims. So if we are planning from the very beginning, and we are careful about this EOT claims, we need to have proper records or proper records at the site level. So then only we can give a good and much arguable EOT submissions. This one I talk about maintain an approved baseline before the work begins, and thereafter we have to update and revise to reflect the current project condition. And if there is no any excusable delay event occurred, I explain what is excusable mean. That is the EOT entitled to the contractor. So if there is no excusable delay event, so while we are updating, if there is any delay showing on the program, that is of course comes under the contractor's delay. So he has to bear whatever the consequences from there onwards. So next problem comes how we can evaluate this EOT claims. How we can grant, how we can approve this EOT. That personal judgment or any of the people discussions, that should not happen while we are approving this EOT. So there are standard methods available internationally to analyze this delay events. So always that is a delay event and the construction master program. Those are the key points available. And how we can analyze this delay event is we have to put this delay event into the updated into the updated construction program and run the project. So while we are facing this delay event, we have to agree by the both parties, including this link to the activities and its effect. So there are about 6 or 7 delay analysis methods available commonly in the industry, and the major similarity we can identify is some of the methods we can deal with. It is dealing with identifying the event or the cause for the delay, and from there onwards, it's going to check for the effects and grant in the EOT. That method we are calling the prospective delay analysis method. The other method we have available is the we are identifying the delay and checking backwards. So what was the cause for this delay event? That we are calling retrospective method. On the second method, we are analyzing after this delay event is happened. Prospective method means we are at the beginning, it is analyzing and granting the approval. So these are the delay analysis method I have just put for your understanding. So analysis method are different topic. So today I'm not going to talk about this. This much time consume, and that should be done in a practical manner with the construction program and incorporating one delay event into the program, and we can analyze under these methods. So this either prospective method or retrospective methods we can go for, but there are some advantages and the disadvantages when we are selecting with this analysis method. Before going with this analysis methods, both parties has to agree on this method. In some of the contract documents, it's saying the delay analysis to be going with either this time impact analysis or this window analysis method kind of a things. So if there is any method specified in the contract document, we can go for it, or else when you are submitting that or analyzing delay events, we have to agree by the both parties. Previously I said to submit or analyze an EOT claim, we need to have good records at the site. So if there is no records, actually it's very difficult to get an EOT claims that is mainly the contractors are suffering, and therefore we have to be vigilant on this delay events and should maintain at least these records. I have mentioned some of the records that has to be maintained by the contractor. One is when the event occurs, the date or the period this event occurs. So that will be easily helpful while we are joining in this construction master program. Then why it is occurred? So we have to list down why that was happened. Who is responsible? The third one is that this activity is affected and the reason for this delay event and for resource that is required to mitigate that delay event. So what are the required resources we should involve? And the list of the affected activities. So in the construction schedule, because of any delay events, some of the activities are affected. So we have to list out those activities. And item number 6, any other activities that were carried out either on or off-site as a result. So if there's any delay event happen, we have to do additional works. So those kind of activities also we have to list down. And maintaining sketches, photographs, and the plans. So that will helpful when you are preparing this EOT claims. And item 8, the details of actions taken by the contractor to avoid or minimize the delays. So that gives an much impression to the evaluator. So the contract has taken steps to mitigate that delays. And in the meantime, there can be alternative solutions or proposal to recover that delay events. And communication between the construction team relating to possible delays, like notifying the delays and having the meetings to discuss about the delay events and to overcome and like that. So these records, at least we have to maintain at the site level to produce a claim. Next, we will move to how we can, or what are the things to be included in an EOT claim. So previously I told to maintain records. It's just like I just copied this picture to show like this, the records are now. But we have to take each and everything in order and present the EOT claims. So these are the things we have to produce in our EOT report. First, cause of delay. Need to explain why this and what caused the delay. And effects of delay. We have described. So impact of the project schedule because of the delay. And we have to state under which contractual ground we are forward in this EOT claim. We have the contract document and we have to refer the contract clauses and forward our EOT claims. So that will be much easier anyone to evaluate and give their comments. And the notifications. Notifications at the initial stage, we have to send to either party saying this delay event. And the documentation. We cannot just forward our claim without having any supporting documents. So that will not helpful in evaluating the claims. Mostly, if there is no records, it's more tend to get rejected. And we have to justify why this claim is submitted and what was the effects got because of this delay events. And the claim time extension. Specify the requested extension duration. We cannot just say this number of days. We need this much of days but we have to analyze and so this much of EOT we require. Next, delay analysis. We have to use appropriate delay analysis method and so this EOT time. And impact on other provisions. So if this EOT is affect to the other contract terms, that also we have to specify. Then finally, we have to ask for a decision on our claim. So this is the things to be included in a EOT claim report. In the meantime, this claim should be concise, accurate, and clear as possible. So if we are forwarding this kind, including these things in a report, so everyone will get the answer within a short period of time. However, though we have our records at the site level, when we are preparing EOT claim, we have to think with this with these factors also, because the delay events are happening. In Sri Lanka, we are not finding much more different from this weather condition and all. But if you are considering, if you are taking this in other countries, because of these seasonal changes, we have to think about the time period also. Because the delay events happening sometime in a good period. So the delay, if you're asking for the same dates, we have to work in a much tough time period. So we have to consider those kind of things. Working days are different from calendar days. So when you are preparing the construction master schedule, we are assigning the calendar, so the working days, but the extended time period, the same calendar might not be able to use. So that we have to consider. The reissues of insurance and other bonds to cover extended period. So this has to be checked. Reissuing, so it takes, might be having issues or additional cost. And summer days tend to be longer and more productive than winter days. And the requested time period is sufficient to cover all delays. 5. The nature of the proposed changes and their ramifications. So if the change, we have to check the proposed change is practicable or not. If there's any major complications, so that we have to check. Once the extension of time has been granted, we cannot ask for the other EOT or extension of time for the same event. So we have to carefully look and ask for the EOT. And only one claim is necessary for a continuing delay. Some of the delay events for EOT are granted without knowing the time period. That we have to check for the possibility of extending the same EOT. So these things to be included in our EOT claims in the claim report, and we have to consider, and we have to carefully forward and get the EOT done. So that is about the preparation of the claim reports. At the beginning, I said, though we are submitting the EOT claims, each and every claim is not entitled to get an EOT claim. So these are the some of the events we will not be getting the EOT granted. Where the contract has underperformed or his insufficient workforce or failure to obtain plant, goods or services. So that kind of things are not entitled for the EOT claims. When there has been poor but not exceptionally adverse weather. So the weather condition might have bad, but that is the nature of that area during the past years. So that kind of situation, the contract is not able to get an EOT. And when the evidence of the information presented to demonstrate that the contract has suffered irrecoverable delays is insufficient. So contract has not taken required attempts to mitigate the delay. If an extension of time is already given, then we cannot claim for the same EOT. Where more than one event occur at the same time. So there might be having many events happening in the same time. So we cannot ask for each and every claim the total duration as the EOT claims. So we have to evaluate and analyze the delay and final need to grant appropriately. And the cited event does not constitute a relevant event. So we are asking some event is cause a delay, but that is not relevant. So irrelevant events are not granted the EOT. And if the contract has not taken a step to mitigate the delay, then that also goes in his entitlement for an EOT. So these are the things we can discuss about the EOT claims. So this is a vast area when you are learning. So I think I briefly introduced and you got some knowledge. And if you are going with the deep analysis in each and every topic, we have to discuss separately. So I think I have finished my presentation for today, and you got some understanding, I hope. So if there's any questions, you can text or you can send us, and we'll answer.
Thank you so much, Engineer Atula, for the session. So there are a few questions in the live chat. So let me just read those out to you. So the first question is, are these delay events valid for local contracts or contracts awarded under FIDIC or any other conditions? The delay events that were discussed in the beginning.
Can you just repeat?
Yeah. Are these delay events valid for local contracts or contracts awarded under FIDIC or any other conditions?
Yeah, delay events actually valid for any contracts. So the evaluation comes to be done as per the contract specification stated in the contract document. So as far as I know, any of the contract has the provision for this EOT grant. So there is no boundary or limitation to apply this values.
Okay. The next question is, can a contractor ask for an EOT for normal rainy conditions, such as typical monsoon rain?
No, that he has to prove actually in the Sri Lankan practice, what we are doing, contract has to produce the last 10 years weather pattern showing that is exceptional during this claim period. So at least more than 10% need to be prevailed in this period. So normal, because in one contract clause, it is saying the contractor should know the environment and the site condition before his before he joining with the contract.
Okay. The next one is, what is the method of EOT calculation for the fuel and power cut or electricity cuts during construction periods?
Actually, that comes under the force majeure. That is, no one is responsible for that. The client cannot bear or the contractor cannot bear. So they have to mutually agree. Of course, there will be EOT. They can ask for an extension of time. But will not be having any compensation from the client for that kind of events.
Okay. The next question is there any standard to record site weather or incidents which help to claim EOT in the future if required?
Yeah, what we can do, we can have the site rain gauges prepared and monitor and record, but that has to be signed by the both contractor and the client or the consultant. In the meantime, we can go for the material department and can get their reports and evaluate the same.
Are there any other questions? You can send them on the live chat and we will address it. There are a couple more questions. The calculation methods for fuel and power cut effect on construction. How to change the master program according to the effects.
So actually analyzing of the delay methods is a different topic. Anyway, I will explain. So what we are doing, we have to have we are calling such an fragment. So we have to show their effects onto the construction master program, showing So for which activities that was affected. So we have to link for those activities and run the project to evaluate the extension of time. So if it is affecting for the critical path activities, of course, you will get EOT. So if it is not affecting to the critical activities, and if the contract is manageable, then you will not get the EOT claims. That all depends the availability of the quality records. If there is no records, is being kept by the contractor, is losing.
The next question is, if the provision for price escalation is within the original contract, can the contractor claim the price escalation within the EOT period?
That actually, yeah, price escalation, that is, I think that is not for the new items. So that is within the contract agreement, they can claim because EOT is granted by the contract administrator. So they can claim.
I'm not too sure about the next question because it's more of a statement, but I've asked him to elaborate. The contractor is not granted an EOT. The contractor can continue the contractual work under this situation.
Can you just repeat it?
It's a bit of a statement. So he has said the contractor is not granted an EOT. I think he's asking, can the contractor continue the contractual work in this situation?
Yeah, of course, because the contract has been signed to complete one product. So the contractor has to finish it. So only thing, now he is liable for this, or he is affected with penalties. If the client is wish, he will apply these penalties on the contractor. Anyway, contractor has to carry out the work until the work is finished.
If we have not answered your question by any chance, please do resend, elaborate, and let us know. The next question is, what kind of claims will lead to disclose of the project or change of the respective contractor? Name some situations.
Change of the contractor, that is suspension or termination. If you are going to terminate, we have the separate contract clauses. So we have to go with those conditions. So if it is a decision by the client, so under the termination contract, the contract will forward his claim, and from there, client has to pay and terminate the contract and appoint a new contract. So actually, that is not come under the EOT. Anyway, there's a provision to terminate the contract.
Okay. The next question is, when claiming the EOT claim, in addition to the time, in what case should the cost be allowed? In the sense, time plus cost.
Yeah. So that is we call the compensation. So the contractor has to prove he has involved additional cost because of this delay event. If the delay events are from the client side, of course, he has the right to ask for this compensation. And prolongation, we also have other term. So with that process, we can go. if the things are happening beyond this client, like natural events, the contractor mostly will not get this compensation.
There don't seem to be any other questions in the live chat. Engineer Atula, thank you so much for conducting this session and for answering the questions that our audience had. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope that you all were able to benefit. For those who have filled the form, we will do our best to send you the certificates within 2 weeks' time. If you all have missed any part of this session, no problem. We will have the videos available on YouTube starting maybe around sometime next week or so. If you have any other questions, you can always contact us, and if we'll do our best to answer you all as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and we will see you in the next webinar.